Now when you're putting the top back on, this fine edge at the front of the fridge has to connect into this little groove across the front edge of the top panel. So you drop that in there, you pull it back, and then drop the back over the back. So I've just put my lid back on. I've got my switch in the front to turn the font fan on and off from Digital Home Brew, the font snake. I've got the cable coming out through the back with the glue gun just surrounding it to protect it a bit. Now the cable, once the font snake's installed, the cable will come out through this plug here with the CO2 line will come through. But just to make sure that I've got it all set up okay and she's running nicely, I'll just plug it together before I put it in. Now in the box you got your mounting screws, or you have got the option for some Velcro, stick-on Velcro. I'm going to go with the mounting screws. You also have an extension cable. Now that extension cable I will still use, and then you have a nice easy plug set up to plug your power supply in. So where I'll start is I'll plug the actual main cable in here. So I've now connected that one together. Now this is the cable coming from the switch. Then I'll get this extension cable and I'll plug that in. I'll just plug the extension cable in, which joins onto the other plug, going to the switch in the back of the fridge. On the other end of that extension cable I've now plugged over to the power supply to plug into the wall. It's all very nice and simple and easy. I'll just plug this into my power point. Switch it on. And then I'll come to my font snake and the on-off variable speed controller on the unit, which is fantastic because I'll be able to set that to as fast as I need to cool my font as best as I can. And then on the switch on the front now that I've got on the front, when I click that on, I don't know if you can hear it, but that fan's just started up. Now if I click it off, it's just stopped, back on again, and back off. That's how simple it is. So I've just finished mounting the font snake inside the fridge. Gives you the ability to mount it sort of where you want or where it's going to be out of the way. I've moved it over here just for the flexibility of the pipe, just to give it a nice angle to go up into the font. So it's up on the roof. Now the cable, once again, you can see I've had the glue gun out, and I've just decided to glue gun around where the pipe enters in to get the best seal that I can to get the maximum airflow. I've run the cable back in behind the cooler and then out through the back of the hole where the CO2 line will come through. So just at the back of the fridge here you can see the cable that goes to my switch that I've put in underneath the lid. You can see the cable coming out from inside the fridge. Now I've already connected those through the link that Michael's made up for me, and then that just runs down to where I've got the power lead or the power plug plugged onto the end of it, all ready to go. So I'm just going to neaten these wires up, and then I'll be ready to start putting my font back together. So you can see now I've just run, being a 3-tab font, I've run my 3 beer lines up through the top of the fridge. I've actually numbered them at both ends, so it makes it a bit easier, so I know which one's going onto which keg. And then I've put the font just up here at the moment. I haven't screwed it on yet, and I've just cut this tube so it just sits underneath that top tap and should sit beside the other two, so it's at the right length when I put it all back together. Now I've just had it together, but I've decided to just pull it back apart again. Now the reason being is because mine's a 3-tap, and with this tube that I'm running it through, as well as this pipe, I find that it's extremely tight, and I'm worried about the coolness getting around the whole tube as it comes up through the font. So what I've done is I've just popped a couple of small holes, one either side, every so often down the length of the airflow tube. Now it shouldn't really affect it. It should actually help it perform better, because I am going to put some insulation up in the top and try and keep it all enclosed as much as I can. So after a little bit of a battle, I've just managed to get the first tap on. It is quite difficult doing it the way I've done it, with that foam in there and trying to get the nut on. Make sure you get the nut on in behind the tube and stuff before you do connect it to the tap. So make sure these two here go on first, and then poke it through your hole of your font. I've only got 2 more left. Hopefully it won't take me too much longer. It is quite handy to have a pair of long nosed pliers. I find to hold the nut in behind, and then just by using my spanner on the front of the tap to tighten the nut in from behind. So you can see I've finally got all the taps back in and all the pipes reconnected. And down through the top you can see, just down where my finger's gone, where the air pipe is coming up, bringing the cool air up, and the 2 walls of insulation that I've got in there. And then I've just got a piece of this offcut of the insulation, and got my glue gun out again, roll it up into a snail, so then I can just squeeze it in the top, just to keep the air into the pipes, and then the cap can go on. So guys, this is about 10 minutes in and I'm already down to 6.1 degrees. The taps are starting to feel nice and cold, and up around the top of the font's starting to get a nice chill to it as well, even though I've got the insulation on it, because the pipes are going back through. Now keep in mind, I've got no beer in my lines yet. I haven't charged my lines at all. I'm still got to fill my kegs, but it just demonstrates how well that fan's working from Font Snake. Fantastic work to the guys there. So just to wrap it up, just a huge thank you again to Michael from Digital Home Brew and their product called the Font Snake with the variable speed on it. You can jump on their website. It's don't know if you can see that properly, www.digitalhomebrew.com, and have a look at their other products that they've got there. And I hope this has helped anybody out there.